as much as we want to not be influenced by the external like views, right? There's two ways to go through life, right? There's the monkey bars, which is like you grab one and then you grab the next, but you're not grabbing the next one until you're still holding on to this one until you get the next one, right? There's the trapeze, right? Which you can cover much further distance a lot faster, but you gotta let go. You gotta have faith and trust that you're gonna get caught, you're gonna catch the other side. You know what I mean?
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode. All right, guys, we are back. Wayne's in the building today, co-hosting with Playboy Fresh.
Yes, sir.
Playboy in the building.
How y'all doing, man? Happy
to be here,
man. Thanks for having me.
Fresh from what, Miami? Were you China? Where you coming from?
Where I come from, I come from LA.
Okay.
I was at home.
You was in Miami for Art Basel, right?
I was in Miami Art Basel. Had fun, man.
Were you performing out there?
I did I threw a listening event at my house. I have a house out there that I just got, and like probably 4 days, we decided to do it, and 4 days later we had it, and it actually turned out really well. It was cool. It was a cool chill vibe, like set up for like before all the chaos of Art Basel really started. So it was like some chill. Had hookah set up, had bars, and I have this Maybach G-Wagon Landaulet, which is like
rare as hell.
Yeah,
and they were painting
9 in the world.
Oh, Atlanta was painting it?
No. People. He just let people paint and sign it.
Yeah, like so it's like it's a crazy car. It's like the top come off the back, right? It's a chauffeur car, got glass go up. You press a button, the glass fog. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it's like 1 of 99. And yeah, so I was like, man, it's Art Basel. I want to do something cool. So I had an artist come and paint. She painted all on the whip, you know what I'm saying? And then I had everyone at the party sign it. So
nice.
Everyone got to sign it like a yearbook type of thing, you feel me? And then just rode around Art Basel the whole week and that shit.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's
dope.
Yeah, it was fun.
You make all this money from the music industry?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. So that's gonna be even a whole nother level. I don't know. I might have them paint a private jet next time.
God damn.
Once this goes, nah.
Balling out here.
Yeah, you know, I've had. I'm blessed to come from a very successful family.
Okay.
And very grateful and fortunate for the position that's put me in, and how it's allowed for me to really like follow my dreams and passions relentlessly. You know, I think a lot of people people would tell me like, "Damn, that's crazy, Fresh. Like you work like you broke," and it's like, nah, I work like I'm passionate, nigga, and I'm grateful. You feel me? Because it's like a lot of people expect you to just be, oh, you could just be chilling and just be on the beach and just, you know what I'm saying? Woo. It's like, yeah, I could, but then I'd probably go so crazy and like, you know what I'm saying? I live. I'm a purpose-driven person, right? And I also think that one of the greatest ways you can show gratitude for what you've been blessed by and given, both from God and from your family, is like to take what was given and figure out how to give more, right? So like I had a moment and point in my life where like, so my father does real estate, so he's built he's built a little real estate empire in Oakland, California, right? And I always kind of felt like that's what I was gonna do. I thought that's what I was gonna do. I did it for a little while, and it just wasn't the right thing for me. Like, and a big part of the why was because I just felt like if I'm doing this, it's like, okay, I was born into a family, I have money, right? And then I work my whole life and just make more money, and then I die, right? And the only thing that I did while I was here was make
money.
Like, what kind of contribution to society is that?
That's a different way of thinking.
That's deep,
you don't
bro.
ever hear
that.
You never hear that.
That's deep.
It's just like, bro, like I have a lot more to give, right? And it's like, I don't believe that God gave me all of this to just make more money for myself. I just don't believe that. You feel me? And so, I made the decision to go all the way against the grain and against what my family. I'm the black sheep in all ways, shapes, forms, and fashions.
Damn.
But it's like, and they still like. I thought there was a moment where they were starting to like be like, okay, yeah, we see, all right,
they still like, nah, don't invite them this year.
But it's like, but then it's like, I I live for not just me, but for the world. I have a lot to give to the world,
Right.
and I got 2 beautiful kids, twins, 7-year-old
Nice.
twins, who I feel the most obligation towards to show them like,
You
know what I mean? You can
want.
do anything, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't really necessarily told that when I was young, right? I wasn't told I was going to be a failure or nothing like that, but I was told I could be successful, but within these lines, right? And so that is almost like when it comes to like parental pressure and like that's almost like harder than like not having no lines and being like this, or like you're not really gonna do nothing, like whatever, right? Anything is you got nothing to lose, and, you know, feel me? But like for me, it was like I had to step away from some shit that everyone's like, bro, why the would you like? You could be just keep doing this shit with your dad and be, you know what I'm saying? And it, for me, it was just like I could, but like I also could
try something.
Go and be brave and go and explore like what I really want to do and what I really want to be and how I really want to, you know, like give to the world, right? Like and
But were you or initially were you scared to kind of go out on the limb? Go against the
yeah,
family?
you know what I mean? Hell yeah, for sure.
That's all you knew, probably.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I knew, and it was like, and there was an identity in that, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like that's the biggest thing I think. Like when there's been changes in my life,
Right.
the biggest things that have been like the hardest parts have been shedding the identity, right? So I was a basketball player, I was a hooper most of my life, right? And I went to play in college my freshman year. Ended up having knee surgery, right?
Right.
I thought I was gonna be able to come back sophomore year. It just never was the same, right? So it wasn't so much like yeah, there was like damn, like I loved hoop, and it was like I'm losing that, but it's more so like okay, who the am I now, right? Like I've identified as a hooper my whole life, right? So now I don't know who I am, right? And it was like. So you know, in different ways and different times, like there's been moments where I've had to like shed my identity. And the other thing is like you don't always get to know
most
where you're jumping to.
Most people would never admit that. Most people will never admit that at some point you have an identity crisis or you got to face yourself. That's tough.
That mirror, man.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? That mirror,
tough.
I feel like a lot of athletes deal with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in general, right? Because it's just like. As much as we want to not be influenced by the external like views, right? Like we are, right? We're human, right?
For sure.
And so it's like there is that fear of being like, okay, I identify as this, and that feels safe, right? So like when I'm letting go, it's like I look at like there's 2 ways to go through life, right? There's the monkey bars, which is like you grab one and then you grab the next, but you're not grabbing the next one until you're still holding on to this one until you get the next one, right? Or there's the trapeze, right? Which you could cover much further distance a lot faster, but you gotta let go. You feel what I'm saying? And you gotta have faith and trust that you're gonna get caught, you're gonna catch the other side. You know what I mean?
Like that.
And so it's like I've kind of always been a trapeze type nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like like not always, I shouldn't say always, like in my adult life, once I got to a certain point, like where I was like, after I stopped working with my dad and was like, I'm gonna figure it out for myself. That was when I started being trapeze, like no more monkey bars, like, and it's like, it's always the scariest part because it's the unknown, right? And so, but once you're able to face the unknown without fear and just trusting and having faith that you're gonna be good, that God's gonna catch you, or that you're gonna catch yourself, or that whatever it is, if you don't know what's next, that there is something that's next. It makes life a whole lot easier, and it makes life a whole lot more. You could take risks without as much.
But where does that faith come from? Like, how did you establish that faith coming from a family who's well off? And technically, you don't need to have faith at that point because you know your meals, everything's taken care of.
Well, so you know what the crazy thing about that is, right? When your meals are taken care of, right, and the roof over your head,
right,
you have to ask yourself more difficult questions, right?
Yeah, right.
Like you're not caught up in the day-to-day survival, right? so you got to ask yourself existential, like real deep questions, right? Like
you got to challenge yourself.
Why? Like, who am I? What am I?
Yeah.
What's my purpose? What am I doing?
Right.
Like, why? Right?
Yeah.
Why and who am I? Right? And man, there was times where I envied my friends who were working and had to think about survival and not, because like I was going through an existential crisis of trying to figure out who the I was.
That's
right?
great. It's like a version of survivor's guilt in a way, but like rich kid
It's
guilt.
just like nah, it's not even guilt. It's not guilt. It's like it's like, okay, so a lot of people think about money as a destination.
Right.
It's not, right? It's just money is a tool. Money is a lot of things, right? But it's not a destination. It's not a place of like, okay, I've got there, I have money, woo, right? Nigga, you're gonna get money in life, is gonna continue. So the journey's not done yet, right? And so, like, when you at a young age have to, and at a young age, and without it being from what you've done, have money, right? So it's not like you like, you 18, you get drafted in the NBA, and you're a millionaire, right? Okay, that's identity and that, right? But you have money because your family has money, right? So you from a young age have to try to understand, all right, who am I, like, and what's important to me, right? And I've seen it with family members who like kind of have chosen to operate and live and almost like pretend like they don't have money, right? And like that's kind of how my parents like wanted me to be, right? But you see, I put up with the Richard Mille, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't really listen to that part, because it got to the point where I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna keep living my life based on the idea of how other people are gonna perceive me. Like that feels like a prison to me, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm also not a person who's really able to just like tell myself a lie and just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna be comfortable with this. Like, nah, like I can't do that. I can't just accept something that I know to not be true, right? And so I had to really ask myself those questions. Like for me, distracting myself with like partying or that's not gonna work. Like my mind is too like hyperactive, bro. Like my spirit is too curious, right? I can't be that. And so, man, I remember like really it's funny, and it's not to say like when I say I envied that like the somewhat mental freedom of not having to answer those questions. It's not to say that I think that I thought in any way that it was easier or whatever, right? It just was like, damn, like I'm having to like really ask myself these tough questions, right? But like I grew up interesting because it's like I'm half black, half white. My white side is generationally wealthy. My black side is generationally poor. And so I grew up seeing vast extremes, like vast extremes. And I saw my rich family like talking about having money as like such a burden and how it made it so difficult, so hard, And then I see, oh, my cousin just got killed. Like, my cousin just got 25 to life. You feel what I'm saying? And my uncle just died from crack. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, nigga, y'all need to up about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the difficulties that come with that, sure, but it's like, bro, it ain't.
That's
like,
a crazy paradox to live in two separate worlds, growing up and seeing both sides.
It's wild.
Which side did you gravitate towards?
I'm a rapper, right? You feel me? No, like I always identify more on my black side thing, like because I went to school with a lot of white kids, right? And they always made it a point to make sure that they like would say, oh yeah, Doug's my government. Doug's half black. Doug's half, So like, it never was a thing where I felt like I was white, right? Because they made sure to
tell you that you were mixed. Yeah.
And so, I always just like kind of, I was a loner. Like a lot of my young life, I still am in a lot of ways, right? But it's like I never had like big groups of friends. I never I never felt like I fit in, and I used to really dim my intelligence, dim my light, even like. I'm still working on my posture today because I spent so long like trying not to make other people uncomfortable by by who I am, right? And so I would like hunch over, right?
So you wouldn't seem so tall.
Yeah, like because I just wanted to fit in because I never did. You feel me? And so, and then excuse me. Then I reached the point where I realized like I never fit in because I was meant to stand out. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and so, but it was racial identity has always been an interesting thing for me, right? Because it's like. And I grew up around white people, but I was not white or considered white or treated as white by them, right? And then, I have the other side of my family who's black. And then I had, like, my friends who, I grew up in the Bay where it's very, very diverse, right? So I have friends of all different ethnicities, and right? But it's like, I can't say that I've had the black life, the black experience, right? The black American, right? Because like I'm fair skinned, like sometimes people think I'm white, like, and so I can't claim to have had the same black experience that you've had, right?
For a fact, yeah.
And then when you then take into account the money aspect of growing up with money and having money, like that's a whole nother aspect because our culture is very much rooted in survival from the conditions that we've been in, right? And so, like, how do you understand black culture without being relation to the struggle, right?
And I don't like that narrative. I don't like the fact that
but it's true, though.
They say that you can't be a good boxer or a good artist because you didn't grow up in a struggle. Like, why does that have to always be a part of everybody's story?
You know what it is, though?
That
it's
coming
like,
from the mud mentality.
But I will say this,
crazy.
though, right? So, like, bro, I have experienced a lot of street, a lot of like as an adult,
right.
Like as a musician and in this space, just be like, and I understand now why, because in order to go where I'm going, I needed to be prepared. There's a certain level of armoring that happens when you deal with certain right? And so there's a certain level of innocence that will get you killed. You feel me? It'll destroy you, right?
Wow.
And so God put me through the things he put me through as an adult
to prepare you
because I had a soft childhood. You feel what I'm saying?
Damn.
And so in order to go where I'm going, I needed the armor. And my childhood was soft. It didn't provide that armor for me, right? And so I now like am able to look at it and understand the why, right? And it's like, and there's also the aspect. I live my life by it, like everything's my fault, like the good and the bad, right?
Yeah.
But there's also the aspect of it being like, like, so each individual circumstance, it's my fault, but it's also like, it's part of God's plan what needed to happen. And I understand now and I'm grateful and so thankful for all the storms that I've been able to make it through, because every single one of them has made me a better sailor. Every single one of them made me stronger, right? And so it's like, but my life in a lot of ways, like, is the opposite of other people's lives in music, right? Like, like a lot of rappers, like they growing up was like they had the and then when they got money, their life got. But my is the opposite, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't grow up.
But then also too, once you're granted money and a certain level of success, a lot of those cats don't know how to escape that street life. They'll get rich and get life in prison.
Yeah, that too. Right.
Like, I thought that the whole goal was to you've been escaping prison your whole life, but then you get rich and now you're back to doing
what it is,
ignorant.
I think it's like it's a couple of things, right? I mean, a lot of things, right? But a few general things is like, one, it's like there's an entitlement, bro, that come with, like, when you have money, people feel so entitled to that, right?
To your money.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And it's like, bro, like, look, I say it like this, right? Look, if you win the lottery for $50 million tomorrow, right? I bet you there's 51 people who all feel like you should give them $1 million because you just won the lottery for $50 million, right?
He got it.
Right?
That's what this
be like, bro, it's $1 million. You just won for 50. You can't give me $1 million,
right? Like that.
but there's 51 people at least, right? Who all feel that way, right?
Right.
And so it's like that entitlement should be crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and so when you come from an environment like where a lot of rappers come from, right? It's like that saying no can come with a whole lot more, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like it can come with a whole lot more for certain people based on where they come from and like and it's up, right? And it's like it's where we as a culture need to improve, right? Because we need to understand, one, we need to support each other, right? We need to like want to see success in each other instead of viewing other people's success as something that's gonna
as your demise.
Yeah, people look at oh, you're successful. That means I'm less likely to be successful.
Yeah,
it's like that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, right?
Right.
Like every other culture understands that to be the opposite, right? It's
crabs in the barrel.
Like for real. But every other culture is the opposite, that all the
time.
Right? They be like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's great. Like you see immigrants come to America, right?
Kill whole family.
They all gonna be on a mission. They all gonna be helping each other, right? Even like you look at Black Americans and you look at like what I call African, because I don't consider Black Americans to be African American.
Culturally, we're different.
Culturally from here, right? Yeah. Our culture, I know my family, the furthest back we could trace our family roots was slaves in Virginia.
Right.
So, like, there is no Africa, right? That's a part of our culture.
Right.
Or our family, like, knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So, we're Black, right? But then you have people who come from Africa and live, like, they're like, they do better in school statistically. They have better paying jobs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like they don't fall into the same traps that Black Americans fall into, right?
Right.
And it's because of cultural elements that came out of the circumstance that we were forced into, right? But I also take pride in that, right? Because our culture is one of resilience. It's one of overcoming. It's one of like dealing with some of the harshest conditions and enduring, and not only enduring but figuring out a way to make beauty out of it, make art out of it, make joy out of it, right? To smile and laugh when everything's f***ed up, right? That takes a lot of strength, right? So, like I've had people say like, "Oh, you should take your DNA test to figure out where in Africa." It's like, bro. It's not gonna make any difference, right? Like,
I'm still born here.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna go there and like, okay, cool. So now,
y'all know me.
So this is where I'm from. So okay, so now I'm gonna adopt all those cultural. No, like our culture is here, right? And so like, but there's certain things that we need to address within our culture, right? There's certain things that.
Are you interested in coming on the Digital Social Hour podcast as a guest? Well, click the application link below in the description of this video. We are always looking for cool stories, cool entrepreneurs to talk to about business and life. Click the application link below, and here's the episode, guys.
I don't know if you ever read the Willie Lynch letters, right?
I did.
Crazy, you read it, right?
I read it a couple times.
Oh my God, like type of evil,
the
genius.
With Willie Lynch.
It's really genius. It's evil, genius shit, right? And the craziest thing is when you read it and you see how applicable what he's talking about is today, right?
Still the same.
The same. And it's like, and so that's the reason why we look at, like, damn, their success means I'm less likely to be successful. And therefore, then let me try to tear them down because I'm viewing their success as my own failure instead of viewing their success as they can help lift me up, right? And so for me, like, one of the things that I've always felt like I had a purpose-wise, right, was like I always felt based on having that very, very polar extreme, like family dynamic, right? I always felt like I was supposed to bridge the gap. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like there was something, a higher calling and a purpose and a reason why God gave me what he gave me and put me in that position and gave me that perspective, right? And then on top of that, gave me the gift of being able to see things in a nuanced way, and then the gift of being able to express them in a nuanced way, right? Yeah. Like there was a moment like where I thought like I might be like a Cornell West, like and like write essays and go speak at colleges and types. But I always knew it was something that I was supposed to be doing that was going to be impactful and to bring the culture forward and push the culture forward. So cool. And so it's like that's why I work so relentlessly, right? Because it's not for me.
So how do you deal with relationships? What's your take on women in society today? Being a man of your status,
my take on women. I love women, but so remember I said like I take everything in life is my fault, right?
Right.
Okay, so collectively I say as men, the way that the women are acting now, like when women are acting hyper masculine or having a hard time letting down that masculine shield and having a hard time following men's leads and are thinking about get some money and try to. It's our fault. It's our fault, bro. We've made them be like that, right? Because through emotional abuse, right? Like over all this time when women are like, a man's telling them, like making them feel like they special and they love him, woo, this and that. And then turn around and just dog out of them, right? And so then they be like, damn, I'm over here like just crying and sitting here left with nothing. And I just been over there. So now what are they now? Okay, well I'm gonna get something out of it. So I'm gonna try to make it transactional in a way where I'm gonna get some, at least I'm gonna get for it. So I'm gonna get right? And it's like it corrodes society overall, right? I think it's unhealthy for women and men for it to be that dynamic. But it's like a war of the genders right now.
Yeah.
And I think
that's so weird.
I think it's like
there is a divide.
It's a divide, and it's literally like you got songs that women rappers are making that's talking about like finesse. You got songs that niggas is rapping talking about like over the bitches, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like ain't nobody talking about no
loving each other.
Bro. It's like, and so it's like when you think about a culture, right? And how you move that culture forward, it's like, and we can't even respect each other enough. Like, nigga, like people want to get out and march and protest for Black Lives Matter, right? And one, like, so first of all, like I'm from Oakland, right? The Panthers are starting Oakland. Nigga. I ain't going out nowhere and put my hands up and saying don't shoot and let my shoot me rubber bullets. That. What the hell? No, nigga. Why the fuck you gonna ask the people who've been killing you for years to stop? They wanted to stop, they would stop, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep asking them for it instead of building and gaining our own power, right? And I'm not saying it has to be a violent revolution or a violent response, but if we build economic power, they're gonna not be able to do that to us, right?
Yeah.
If you get an insurance policy and everyone gets insurance policies and now the insurance company keep having to pay all this money on life insurance every time cops kill. They're gonna nigga. All right, we're gonna implement programs in your police academies to make sure you stop killing black people because we are paying out way too much money in life insurance, nigga.
Yes.
But it's like it's approaching and attacking the problems in a way that's like it's not asking for somebody to help, right? Not asking somebody to give us like nah, nigga, you gotta take it, right? And I know I went on a tangent, so I'm trying to remember what to get back to what the question was of men and women. I'm like, where the was I going? But yeah, I think it's like I think we're in a space. Oh yeah, bring the community forward, right, and the culture forward. It's like we have to get out of this space of being adversarial with our women, right? We have to get out of the space of being at war with them and having it be a situation wherein everybody's just using each other, right? Not even misusing each other, right?
Yeah, misusing
because
each other.
it's good to be useful to each other. Like,
Absolutely.
nigga, if I'm a man that has no use or value,
then what are you?
am I? Nigga, I'm just a waste of your face.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And vice versa, right? But it's like we've been misusing each other for so long now that it's like, and now I hear men complain about it all the time about, oh yeah, man, women acting this way, they have like too masculine, they don't understand their femininity, and it's like, and I rarely hear men saying, nigga, we f***ed up, we turned our women this way, right? I rarely hear that accountability, right? And it's like, I think when we talk about women in this day and age, and we talk about the things that are issues that need to be improved upon, or things that we like would make it to what we would like to see, right? Like, because I think at the end of the day, I would think that most people want peace, right, as opposed to toxicity, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we got to take some steps towards that, right? And I think the first step has to be us as men, right? Because I think naturally, I believe in gender roles, right? Like, I think gender roles are there for a reason, right? And so, in order to successfully like lead women out of this space, we have to be the ones to do that because we led them to this place, right? They're in this space as a response to what we've done, right? And so I think, and I think there's also a lot of like this idea of new age feminism as being like the same. Like when women want to be the same as men, like equal and the same are different. It doesn't mean the same thing, right? It's like you can be of equal value, but
we're not
different.
the same. Yeah,
like and have different things that are values that you bring to the table, and different values that they bring to the table, right? And they can be of equal value without being the same. And right now we have a space where like women feel like in order to be equal, they got to act like men.
Yeah,
and it's not. A woman's never going to be able to be a better man than a man, right?
Not at all.
Right? And just like a man's not going to be able to be a better woman than a woman. You know what I'm saying? Despite how many people was trying to do that.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But you know what I'm saying?
You recently dropped your project, your new project, Him.
Yeah.
And it's an acronym.
Haters irritate me.
I like that.
They always have. They always will.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You let them get to you?
No, they irritate me, nigga, like a fly. Nigga, just fall off my shoulder. About,
so haters irritate me. So what was I like the way your whole style on this, your energy is like so different.
It's aggressive.
Yeah. So what made you come with that style versus
because
you switch it up a lot,
bro. I was coming out of a situation I'm not gonna speak too much on, right? But like that wasn't what I was planning on dropping first, right? I was planning on dropping this project that's coming out in January called the Heartbreak Tape.
Yeah, the Heartbreak Tape, right?
That I really wanted to drop that first because it's a much more like vulnerable project, right? But I was gonna drop it last February. Was going on with people I was working with? Like by the time I got ready to had it together, had the right team to be able to drop. It was summertime, and I'm like, okay, this ain't heartbreak season. You know what I'm saying? But and all the records I've been making at that time were very aggressive because I was tired of people playing with me. I'm like, man, keep playing with me, and I'm sick of this, bro. And it's like, and on so many levels, right? And so it really was like, I'm naturally a humble person. I'm naturally not like a person who is like trying to. I don't do to flex on people. I don't do try to stunt. Bro, like I like this watch. That's why I have it. Not because I want to stunt on.
Right.
I was wearing Richard Milles and people didn't know what they were, right?
Wow.
Because I showed a lot of the rappers of this generation Richard Milles for the first time. For real, yeah. But like, because I liked them because I didn't know what it was, right? I liked it because I think if you knew, you knew, but it wasn't something that everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, I'm not a person who's like all about stunting on I don't believe in that, right? That's insecure, right? I know who I am, nigga. I don't need to stunt on nobody to make me feel like I'm that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm him, right? But like, I was so tired of people playing with me, people taking my kindness for weakness, people taking my, my chill nature or my like, bro, I was just tired of people playing. They wasn't like I knew I was harder than like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, bro, nigga, I'm just gonna come heavy like off the I'm gonna drop 6 songs that all will go crazy in the club. Like I doubt any artist right now could drop 6 club records that's gonna compete with that. I'll put me on a versus against anybody, nigga, whoever in the game, right? Have them put out 6 songs, you know what I'm saying, on a project, a club project, see what, like, bro, I'll put my against anybody. And it was really on some where it's like, I've been in this game for a minute, I've been working for a minute, and I don't even want to say I've been overlooked because I don't feel like I was.
But you work with a lot of artists.
I work with a lot of artists, but like I'm just
artists.
now at the place where I really feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, right? Yeah. So I understand why. So it's not like I'm like, oh, niggas overlooked me for long. Nah, because I wasn't him before. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't have dropped a project called Him before and felt like it was truthful and authentic, and I really was him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I worked hard. I put in a lot of hour. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this, bro. And I earned that, right? I came into this thinking that money could make this go, right? And it doesn't, right? It doesn't. You can't just come in and spend money and nigga. So like the verse that I put out, I had a bunch of yes men around me that was talking about it's hard. It was trash, boy. It was trash, and it's so up because I'm like, damn, y'all niggas really let me go out like that because you know, like
that's honest.
It's like, bro, because will be like they don't want to tell you the truth, right?
You take a lot of accountability
because they feel like it's like they don't want to tell you the truth. They're afraid of how you're gonna take it,
right?
Yeah.
So you gonna go let me put some out and have the world with no like they don't give a tell you the truth in the most brutal way possible, right? Nigga, they will enjoy the out of it, right? I was like, bro, people call me Malibu's most wanted, like, bro, I'm sorry, bro, all type of shit, right? So it's like I already went through that like being like humiliated or you know what I'm saying on a big public scale off the rip off the beginning. So I'm like, bro, I got to I'm like, I don't have nothing to fear in this, bro. Like I've already dealt with it all. Right?
You already went to the ring.
So it's like it really just kind of was the place where I'm like, you know what? Like I'm really there. I'm actually finally there. I've actually found who I am, who I'm supposed to be, and I'm so grateful and thankful to God that He didn't allow me to have success at the moment where I just wanted to be famous and successful because I wanted it, because I wanted validation, because I had an insecurity that people would be, oh, like he's rich because his parents have money. I was insecure about that. So I wanted to have that as a thing that validated me, right? That was my own right? And the funny thing about the way the world works is like when you seek an external validation and you need it, you're not going to get it, right? But when you don't need it no more, I get it all the time now, bro. But I don't need it no more. It doesn't affect me, right? And that's why I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need it. Because I don't need it, I'm able to be so much more truthful and genuine and authentic and real and honest. And I'm able to see and understand that it's about what I give. It's not about me. It's about what I give to the world.
Absolutely.
Right? And that was something that I was blind to when I was focused on getting that validation, right?
For sure.
And so I wasn't able to be the artist I am today because I didn't have that understanding of what makes an artist great. What makes an artist great isn't, oh, he can rap super well, he can sing super, nah, that. What makes an artist great is being able to connect and have songs where like that spoke to me, that spoke to you in this emotion, and that you might not have the exact same experience, but I guarantee there's an emotional moment that mirrors
relatability there.
You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like, because I believe very much in like, as an artist, specificity is very important, right? Like, there's like kind of two trains of thought as far as like what makes a hit, right? Some people believe that like the more general, it's more likely to be a hit because it's more people can relate because it's general, right? And I couldn't disagree more because I believe that the more specific you are, the more real it feels, right? And the more that when it's general, it's like, okay, you're just trying to make a song about heartbreak, right? Versus a song where I'm telling you specifically about this heartbreak and when this bitch did this and then did that and ooh, I felt this. Like, and you can tell I'm really talking about some real shit.
Yeah.
Now you can relate, right? It don't matter if the experience is different. Like that emotion is,
still
I guarantee you felt that. Because as humans, we all feel that, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like I realized too, like when I first was putting out music, and the people around me was, they was like, oh, well, you actually got to watch this in the cars that these we wanted, so let's show all that, right? And it's like, if you look at old footage, well, you can't even look at it 'cause I took it down, but like if you were to see shit, right? It's like an element of like, you could tell that I'm like uncomfortable, like, you know what I'm saying? Like doing some flexing shit, 'cause this is not my nature to be that way. I wasn't raised to be that way. Like I said, bro, I come from a family, even my rich families are very humble, right? And I come from, I'm not that person, right? So it's like, you could tell, oh, it's not really him. It's not really, he's not really being authentic. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't register, it doesn't connect. People can subconsciously feel when you're genuine and when you're being authentic. And so when I got past that point of doing that and trying to do what I thought people wanted me to do and then realize that, nah, they don't want you to be this or that. They want you to be you. Like, they like him for being a gangster because he is a gangster.
Yeah, they like
him for being emo because he is that. They want you to be you, right?
You represent
a certain culture. They don't want you to be nothing but yourself, right? Yeah. And so when you're truthful and honest to that, that's when you really are able to be a real artist and understand.
Making more of an impact.
Yeah, and understand influencing what people that are like for, right?
Yeah.
And so that's because I took some time off. I stepped away from right from being an artist. I was like, I'm gonna take a break because it was a combination of being in a toxic relationship that like had kind of like over time eroded my self-worth and in my own mind, combined with just being frustrated, man, because I'm like, damn, like when I put out the first music that I put out that sucked, right? It was seen by the masses, right? Yeah. And then when I was putting out music that finally got better, like I was like, damn, I wasn't able to even get it. It wasn't like people were hearing it and not liking it. People heard it with it, but it wasn't getting heard in the right ways, right? In the right. So I was just discouraged and frustrated, and so I kind of like stepped away, right? And then the time I stepped away, I focused on working with the art, like working with other artists, right? And I have artists signing me, so I was helping them, work on their stuff, development, branding, right? And as I'm working with them, I'm always talking about like, okay, yeah, it's not about you showing off that you can do this or can do that. It's about what can you make people feel, right? And when I work with an artist, like if I'm A&R and them, like we'll go in the studio, the first hour probably gonna be a conversation like therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know who you are. I need to know what the things are that are important to you, that are meaningful. Anything that you skip over, like, oh, this is happening, and you trying to go past it. Hold on, no. What's that? Because that's what we gotta get to. Because that's the little bit right there that's gonna make people really connect. Right. They're gonna connect because that's raw, that's vulnerable, right? And so that's kind of as in the process of doing that, I was totally cool. I didn't need to be an artist. I no longer needed the validation of being an artist. I was good at who I was as a man. And then that's when God said, "Okay, you're up." Like, and I was like, I wasn't even like trying to get back and shit like that, right? But it was like what was needed of me for my team, my people, as well as the world. Was like, it's like you gotta be Kobe, right? And it was like before I wanted to be Kobe just cause. But
now you know why.
Now it was like it's like you don't want to be Kobe anymore, so now you're gonna be Kobe.
You're not forcing it now.
Yeah. It's like, bro, it's not even my choice. Like it's hard. Like it's harder being an artist than being an artist and an executive at the same time versus being an executive, right? But it's like that's what I had to be. That's what I was called to be. So it's like, so I came back in. I understood it so differently, right? Like even in the reasoning why as I came back was like the reason being because that's what was needed, right? That's what the team needed. That's what the people needed. So I came back in just, all right, like I'm ready to do this for the world, right? And so when you take that ego out of it, and it's not about fulfilling that ego and giving yourself that like dopamine rush of like acceptance or validation, and it's actually about really genuinely giving to the world. It's so different, right? And the way that it's received is so different, and it's just like I get why now. Never worked before, you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Like, so.
Gotcha.
That's dope, man. What do you got planned for 2024, and where can people find you, man?
Man, I got a lot planned for 2024. I got, I'm dropping a song with one of my artists, Rundown Spaz, from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. My little guy, he's killing it, bro. He's 16, 17, like but he a grown man. He really on his and he's been killing it. I'm proud of him and shit. So we got a song dropping top of the year.
Then you got your mixtape.
And then I got the Heartbreak tape coming. So I'm going on tour with Fora. I'm gonna do 15 dates on Fora's tour.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a nationwide tour, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna drop. I think I'm gonna drop like a song every week while I'm on tour.
Nice.
Wow.
Like, for the Heartbreak tape, like you know what I'm saying. And on Valentine's Day is when I'm gonna drop the Heartbreak tape. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then man, after that, bro, really just steady, consistent stream of music, bro. Like just consistent flow. Like I really just, I just focus. I record dinner every day. Like I'll go through a whole day of calls and whatever meetings.
Yeah.
Nigga, and I still make sure I record at night.
Right.
You feel me? Like just to, even if I don't get a whole song out, I just start. I make sure I do it. Keep that muscle working, right?
And where can they find you as far as your music go and your Instagram?
Playboy Fresh is Instagram. Playboy Fresh is the name on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all that. You know what I mean? So I shoot videos. My man Jack, his Instagram, little movies.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like me and him locked in. We've gotten real efficient with our videos, man. Like we just lock in and we just come up with ideas and just kind of we have fun with. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. So we come and say. I actually dropped the song today. As a matter of fact,
okay.
Like, I damn near forgot because it was just like some shit.
What's the name of you? You got
it's called Nothing to Say.
Okay.
Yeah, check that one out. We dropped the video today too. And yeah, we rocking.
All right.
Thank you for coming through,
Yeah,
bro.
thanks for
And
coming
thanks
on,
for
bro.
having me.
I could talk to you all day, dog.
That was eye-opening.
Yeah.
To dive into the music industry was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
No, thank you guys, man.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.